southern Hungary, about 200 kilometres from Budapest, lies the small village of Tazar. This sleepy town has been home to largely secret preparations for the US invasion of Iraq. For the past few months, at an airbase leased to the American military, Iraqi exiles have been training behind these heavily guarded walls. Security here is intense. Even filming in the village away from the base draws the attention of local police. Just what the Iraqi recruits are being trained for has raised many questions. Do you expect them to see any conflict?
What do you mean?
Or do you expect them to see any fighting, for example?
Well, you know, we're training them on self-defense, and in the event they find themselves in a dangerous situation, we're teaching them how to protect themselves. And it's only fair and it's right that we do that.
Will they carry weapons?
Yes, they'll be carrying a 9mm handgun, only for self-defense.
When the Hungarian government said a yes with some conditions, and one of the conditions was that those people trained at the Iraq base may not be directly involved in military conflict. And we are hoping very much that the American authorities respect this condition.
Andras Mihaly manages a cattle farm just down the road from the base. Like many locals, he's worried about his new neighbours.
És mivel abszolút fogalmunk nem volt arról, hogy pontosan mi a célja az ő jövetelüknek, ez mindenképpen aggodalommal töltötte engem is, meg úgy gondolom, hogy másokat is, akik itt laknak. De talán azokat is, akik nem itt laknak, hanem egyáltalán érintettek Magyarországon.
Andras is fearful that the Iraqi presence represents a security risk and says the uncertainty has set the town on edge.
Az egész kiképzésnek a létrejötte és annak a kommunikációja találgatásokra ad okot. Mert az emberekben teljesen őszintén és teljesen akár laikusan is fölmerülő kérdésekre nincsenek egyértelmű válaszok. Sőt, és hát ez, amikor az emberek nem tudják a helyes utazói helyes választ, akkor elkezdenek találgatni. És lehet, hogy teljesen vakvágányon van mindenki. Lehet, hogy nincs is akkora kockázat, mint gondolunk. De akkor tessék megmondani.
Andras was the main organiser of a local anti-war demonstration last month. This protest was also against the training of Iraqi exiles. Residents are suspicious of all the secrecy surrounding activities at the base. According to the local mayor, contradictory reports have heightened residents' concerns.
Nehezen tudom fogalmazni. 2002. december, az olvasható az amerikai tengeren túli internetes újságokban, hogy iraki terrorista különítményeket képeznek ki. Aztán megszólal a magyar kommuniké, aki arról szól, hogy tolmácsokat fognak kiképezni. Aztán jön egy újabb hír, amely arról szól, hogy iraki ellenzékieket képeznek ki, akik részt vesznek a közigazgatásban. Szól a következő hír, hogy csak tantermi foglalkozások lesznek. Jön a következő hír, hogy kézifegyver, lőfegyver kiképzés is folyik a bázison. Ettől a pillanatok az ember össze van zavarodva, és nem tudja, hogy mit higgyen.
The deal to host the training came out of a meeting between the Hungarian Prime Minister, Peter Megyesi, and US President George W. Bush in Washington last November. During this meeting, the US requested use of the base for the training. The Hungarian government readily agreed.
Hungary was considered as a not very fulfilling ally. Some critical remarks have been arriving as far as the implementation of international duties of the Hungarian government, and when the new government took office in May last year, this government decided to show that Hungary is a reliable ally.
Well, obviously we're very, very gratified that the Hungarians were willing to take on a program which really was in many ways an experiment.
This American experiment caused major ructions in the Hungarian parliament, with the opposition outraged at the deal. Istvan Shemishko is the chairman of the opposition's defence committee.
Mivel a NATO egésze is megosztott, tehát nem egységes ebben a kérdéskörben, nekünk nem feltétlenül helyes, hogyha azon nyomban, szervilis módon felajánlunk itt mindent, és azon nyomban fölsorakozunk, igaz, a legnagyobb szuperhatalom mellé.
The opposition thinks that, like many Central European countries, Hungary offered too much too quickly.
Kialakult egy olyan verseny, ami egy felajánlási versenyt jelent. Ki az, aki legnagyobbat tudja, legtöbbet tudja segíteni, felajánl mindenfélét, és ez egy olyan spirált alakított ki, ami semmiképpen sem szerencsés.
We have invited you to talk about a joint Hungarian and United States cooperative effort where members of the U.S. Army...
The media has been invited to Tazar base for a demonstration of police and military working dogs.
On my right is Degi Sandor and his dog Freddy from the Kapishvar Police Department.
Not surprisingly, the local media is more interested in filming the base itself. It's a rare opportunity to get this close. Not much is known about the Iraqis inside. They're never allowed to leave the base. We do know they were recruited in Europe and North America by Iraqi opposition groups. Once recruited, their names were then vetted by the US government. Dateline has obtained a copy of an application form for the program. Amongst other things, it asks, have you been involved in war crimes? And have you made any anti-American statements?
All of the volunteers come from around the world. They left their jobs, their homes, and their families to participate in this training program. But they all have one common dream and vision, and that's for a free and democratic Iraq.
Do any of them want revenge?
No.
How can you be sure of that?
Well, that's a good question, but the volunteers have all come here in their quest for a free and democratic Iraq. We have Kurds, we have Sunnis, we have Shiites that are here participating in the program.
The US government has released this footage from inside the base, as well as interviews with some of the recruits.
I'm coming from California. I've been living in the United States for 25 years. I have my own business. I have 2 beautiful kids, and I live very comfortable. But I couldn't live in peace as long as Saddam Hussein is ruling Iraq.
For example, in a dark room, you need one candle to light the whole room up. That's how I looked at it. I'm one of the candles that have to light my own self, so my people can see what's in the room.
As part of the conditions for leasing the base, the Hungarian government laid down a number of requirements for the training program. The primary one being that the Iraqis not be directly involved in military conflict.
When you say you're hoping they're not involved in the conflict, what do you mean, that they should not arrive until after the war is over?
No, when I say conflict means that there are 2 sides with guns and they are shooting at each other. So we asked the Americans not to do that. They promised, and we hope that those people, should there be a military conflict again, they are not going to participate in that. After the conflict, I think they will have their role.
According to the US military, the Iraqis will be used in a so-called civil-military role, liaising between the army and relief agencies.
So let's say there's a town in need. They have displaced citizens that have come into their area. They will let the humanitarian relief organizations know, here's where there's a need, here's where some people need help, and make sure that they get the help.
Dateline has been told, however, that the trainees will be doing a lot more than this. Hussein Daood is a member of the Iraqi opposition to Hungary. He and fellow Iraqis meet in his cafe in Budapest. He says that not only will a group of trainees be going in to reverse troops, but they will be directly involved in fomenting an uprising.
The first group will have the task to make the links and communication between the USA and UK troops and the Iraqi people, especially at the beginning of the military interventions, when the great need will be for the Iraqis to direct or to arrange the uprising of Iraqi people, which is very expected after the war breaks out.
Hussein Daood also says the trainees will have a role in directing and managing groups of surrendered Iraqi Republican guards. He says this information comes from those in charge of running the war.
All information we received from the Iraqi oppositions, who has the connections, the daily connections with the United States and United Kingdom.
Dateline has independently verified this information with Iraqi opposition groups in Washington and London. They say the role of the trainees is much more than humanitarian, and they will be working to encourage uprisings. This is denied by the US Embassy in Budapest.
They're not being trained to be any kind of vanguard. They're really to support the aftermath of military conflict and to help support communities get back on their feet again.
If the trainees do participate in the conflict, it will be a clear breach of the understanding between the Hungarian and American governments. There will be little, however, that Hungary can do about this.
There's no way to enforce that. What is Hungary going to do if a couple of these people pop up in the theatre of operations during the conflict? They've already been trained. Tossar has already been given over. So if America wanted to, it could breach this. And Hungary would be in a very weak position to do anything about it. It could send a derogation, harshly worded telegram to the State Department, but that's about it, really.
Despite all the contradictions, suspicion and concern surrounding the base, at the end of last month, the first group of around 60 trainees graduated from so-called Camp Freedom. They received this certificate.
You represent people everywhere who desire to live in a world that is free of persecution and are willing to sacrifice personal comfort to achieve freedom for all.
They were flown out of Hungary to a destination unknown, described by the US military only as somewhere in Southwest Asia.
I would like to dedicate this day, which is my graduation day, to my family in Iraq, especially my dad and my mom. They passed away during my exile years. And I dedicate to all Iraqi people, and I tell them, hang in there, we're coming. And hopefully we're gonna save them from this tyrant.
As the war continues, it remains to be seen what role the Iraqi exiles will play. Some warn, though, that America should be careful with its new recruits.
There can often be a blowback to these operations, because after you train these people in what are unusual skills, let's put it mildly, you don't have control of them afterwards when they go back to their home country. So it's difficult to guarantee yourself against this being a perfect operation on the long term.